So the shipment just came in from IMA, which is International Military Antiques, with one of their Gahendra rifles, which was a Nepalese-made firearm during the late 1800s, which I guess you could kind of say was a replica of the Martini Henrys, but not really. And so let's open them up and see what it is. And this was part of IMA's collection that they received when they went over and basically in Nepal and Kathmandu bought their entire military collection and found a bunch of Nepalese-made replicas of not only British firearms but also ones that were made by the Nepalese military. So when you order these from IMA, they basically come in many different states. So you don't know if there's going to be missing parts, if there's going to be, cracks in the stock, because these have been sitting in a royal palace or the royal armory for 100+ years. So not only were they in various states, but the fact that these were they were handmade in, not in factories, but I guess you could say like informal armories, at least compared to Western standards at the time. Alright, see the breech block here, and the buttstock out. Alright. So just looking at this one right here, it looks like it's a very one that's in decent condition actually. So this is all covered in, well, accumulated 100 years of dirt, and these were preserved in yak grease, which was a cosmoline of the time. Right here you can see where there isn't much covered, there's dirt, but this is the original wood finish, which is actually pretty nice. And then it also has the original butt plate on it, which is kind of a nice surprise because a lot of these didn't. And then it looks like this is kind of a crude made for your shoulder strap here. And then let's see if the action opens, which it does. So here's the breech block here. Doesn't look like there's really any cracks, which is kind of nice. There's a little bit of a looks like a little bit of wood damage there, but really in decent condition. And then right here you can see a few. Well, this would have, I'm not entirely sure what this said. This is a year. I can make out 330, which is when it's translated to Western calendar. I'm not entirely sure what that would mean. And then I think this right here, from things I've read, is that this would have been the Prime Minister of Nepal at the time, or I guess whatever their head official was. So even though externally a lot of it looks like a Martini Henry, when we actually open up and look inside of the breech block, it is going to actually be a Peabody action. So just looking at it right away, it does seem to be working. At least the internal mechanism, as far as that's concerned. So looking at it here, and then we'll flip it. And you know, there's a lot of videos on YouTube online about this, and a lot of information about these Gahendra rifles. And as a lot of them will say, you're not really supposed to fire these weapons unless you've taken it to a gunsmith and they seriously consider this to be safe. What kind of round you would, the bore diameter. So this is the Gahendra, and we're going to go ahead and clean it up and take a look at some of the other parts.